big crowd, and I know there's a lot online too. I think when I tracked the views for the work session of last month, we had 4,200 people. So the people online, welcome, and welcome to people here. Welcome to the June 9th work session of the Board of Commissioners. No elected officials that I can see or locate, so if you are an elected official, raise your hand if I did miss you. I don't think there are any. If I can get the marshal to bring up my sheet, I would appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. And a privilege to have Art Brady here to open us up in prayer and also do our pledge and tell you a little bit about Art. A lot of people already know him because he works for the county. He's a utility inspector, does a great job. Everybody loves you in that department. Married, got 2 kids and 4 grandkids. They're up in Tennessee, so he spends a lot of time traveling to visit his grandkids in Tennessee. What part of Tennessee?
Right outside of Knoxville, Clinton.
Oh, okay. Close to the river?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Clinton
that's
River.
great. And he loves to spend time, really spending time with him and family, and spends a lot of time at your church. What church?
Cornerstone Baptist Church.
Cornerstone, that's right, Cornerstone. So I'm going to get everybody to stand. Art's going to open us up in prayer and then do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you humbly, thanking you for another day you've given us, Lord, to get up and, Lord, just to be able to breathe and to be able to go to work. Lord, I thank you for the county and a place for us to be able to come and supply for our families. Lord, we thank you for this board, Lord, as they take care of the business of our county. I pray for them, Lord, as they make decisions and help the county. And I pray, Lord, that you'll touch each one, Lord, and guide them in the right ways. Lord, I pray, God, today for our law enforcement, Lord, as they protect us. Lord, for the fire department, Lord, that watches after us, and the rescue. And Lord, I thank you for each one that has a part in being able to work. I thank you for a free country that we live in, Lord, that we have this opportunity to stand and to do what you would have us to. Lord, I thank you today, God, that you have given us your Son to die for us, that we might have life and have it freely. Lord, I just want to tell you I love you, Lord, and praise your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Thank you, Art. As a reminder, the minutes are on the back table. That would be the for May the 12th, 2026, the work sessions, and also the board meeting on that date also. So they're for your review, so pick up a copy on that. Announcements at this time. We have Team Paulding on the e-bike safety PSA. So run it, guys.
Mom, I'm going to the pool.
Hey Jack, have you thought about what you want for your birthday?
Well,
I know you were thinking about an iPad, but
I thought of something else.
Yeah? What is it?
Any bike.
Oh, they're like motorcycles.
They're not like motorcycles. They're just regular bikes with an electric motor. They're safe, really.
Jack, I have one more gift for you.
Thanks, Mom. It's awesome.
Just promise me you'll be careful on it, okay?
Definitely. Mom, I'm going to the pool.
Okay, be careful.
Every parent has heard it, and every parent has said it, but be careful is not a helmet. It is not training. It is not a stop sign. It is not knowing how fast the ride goes. And it is not enough. Did you buy an age-appropriate ride? Did you check how fast it goes? Did you check whether it fits your child? Does your child know where they are allowed to ride? Do they know how to stop before a driveway? Do they know the rules of the road? Do they wear a helmet every time? Did you practice the route before they rode it alone? Before your child rides away, ask the questions that matter. Did you prepare your child for the ride? Or did you just hand them the throttle?
Very important. No invited guests at this time. We have four bid awards. The first one is discuss action to award the fiscal year 2026 Paulding County right-of-way vertical mowing contract to the lowest reliable bidder. That would be AAA Landscaping Maintenance in the amount of $100,555. Funding for this project will be allocated from the general fund. Project is located in Post 1 and also Post 3. Ms. Parrish.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Paulding County Finance Department advertised the Department of Transportation's project known as the FY26 Paulding County Right-of-Way Vertical Mowing Contract 2 on April 24th of 2026. The project consists of performing vertical mowing and trimming along sides of the established roadway shoulders and vertically up to 25 feet of all trees and tree branches that are encroaching or are a threat to encroach from the sides of the right-of-way onto the travelways. The length of the project is just over 77 miles and is located in Post 1 and 3. On May 22nd, 2026, 2 bids were received and opened for this project. DOT has reviewed the bids and recommends award of the FY26 Paulding County Right-of-Way Vertical Mowing Contract 2 to the lowest reliable bidder, AAA Landscape Management, in the amount of $100,555. Funding from this project will be allocated from general funds. We would like to request that the Board of Commissioners award the FY26 Vertical Mowing Contract 2 to AAA Landscape Management in the amount of $100,555.
Any questions or comments from the board? Thank you, Ms. Parrish. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Next one, we'll discuss action to award the fiscal year 2026 asphalt project contract 2 to the lowest reliable bidder. That would be Blunt Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $3,148,675.52. Funding for this project will be allocated from the GDOT LRA grant. in the amount of $2,780,033.03, and the general fund in the amount of $368,642.49. Road schedules for this contract are located in Post 2 and also in Post 3. Ms. Parrish again.
Yes, sir. Paulding County Finance Department advertised the Department of Transportation's contract, also known as the 2026 Asphalt Contract 2, to include 16.79 miles of milling, patching, leveling, and plant mix resurfacing on 74 streets within 15 subdivisions. 9 bids were received for this project and opened on May 22nd, 2026. DOT has reviewed all 9 of these bids and recommends award to the lowest reliable bidder, Blount Construction Company, Inc., LLC, in the amount of $3,148,675.52. The low bid was 0.002% lower than the county estimate. Funding for this project will be allocated from the following: $2,780,033.03 from the Georgia DOT Local Roads Assistance Administration Grant, and then $368,642.49 from general funds, which requires the grant that we received from the Local Roads Assistance Administration required no county match, but the roads identified is a little over the amount that was identified for those 16 miles of roads. We would like to request that the BOC award the 2026 Asphalt Contract 2 to the lowest reliable bidder, Blount Construction Company, Inc., in the amount of $3,148,675.52.
Good. At this time, any questions or comments for Ms. Parrish? And there are none. The next would be to discuss action to authorize the chairman to enter into an agreement with Cordian and Jock Construction LLC for the construction of a canopy at the 210 Paulding Lane in the amount of $260,467.88. The funding will be allocated from SPLOST. Mr. Fields.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning.
We've been working on this project for a while now. It's a canopy for the senior center, so when they're loading and unloading, they'll be able to pull under if it's raining, make it a lot safer for the citizens, loading, unloading the buses, however they're going to get where they're going, buses, cars, whatever, and it's going to be a canopy covering the walkway and the entrance to the senior center. And it will be funded through SPLOST and take approximately 4 months. The lead time on those materials is a little ways out, but construction time is about 3 weeks. So the lead time for the materials is what's going to take the longest, but it's going to be really nice for them, loading and unloading, walking into the building.
They're excited about it.
I am, yes, sir.
They called me.
Yes, sir.
How long you been working on this project, Jeremiah?
Over a year. It's been a while.
Probably 2.
Probably 2. We've been talking about it at least 2 years. Yep.
Thank you, Jeremiah, for keeping
ma'am.
up with this.
Yes, ma'am.
It could have been a very expensive project, but with you and my fellow commissioner Keith Dunn,
Yep.
we took a while and worked it out, so it wasn't quite
Yes, ma'am. That's
such a
right.
hurt on
Yep.
our SPLOST funds.
Thanks to
I
Keith
think
and Michael
Keith actually
Justice.
used some of his architects to help design that.
He did.
too,
Yes,
if
sir.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yep.
Good. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Fields?
Thank you.
Buddy. The last one is discuss action to award the AMI water meter replacement contract for construction services to the RTS Water Solutions LLC, subsidiary of Invocor, in the amount not to exceed $1,132,649.14 from the Renewal and Extension Fund. This location is in all posts located. Mr. Wooten.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our Paulding County water system operates with approximately 62,600 meters. And in part of those meters, we're looking to replace age meters, convert some existing AMR meters, and put all of our meters onto an AMI system that we currently have. We're trying to upgrade and go to a fully implemented AMI system. And we've been doing that, but we found that we're in a situation where we need to accelerate the program and replace 36,000 of these. That way we can standardize when the meters are put out in bills, and it will allow us not to need to go forward with additional contracts for meter readers. And we are requesting through a bid, we advertised RFP number 26010-3801 on February 6th of 2026. We received proposals from 5 firms on March 6th, 2026, and the selected vendor for the project was RTS Water Solutions, LLC, with a bid of $1,132,649.14. And we would like the board to recommend that we award a contract to them for construction services related to replacement of these meters, and help us to accelerate to go fully to AMI.
Any questions or comments from the board? How long will that project take?
This, to replace 36, this contract will replace 12,000 meters, and we're planning on it taking 3 phases or 3 years, but in working with the companies we're working with, we can see that being less than 3 years to us being fully automated.
Any other questions?
Ray, 3 years for the 36,000 or just the first
The
12,000?
36,000,
So the 12,000 would take approximately a year?
approximately a year. We're going with a slow start to make sure we get everything correct, and then they can accelerate.
Any others? Thank you, Mr. Wooten. Appreciate that. Next, we'll have reports from committees and departments, and we've got 2, but I want to, as James comes up, I want to tell Deidre, you know, sometimes encouragements are wonderful, and I just want to say thank you for every week what you do up here for the Board of Commissioners, and in your prayers and in your encouragements. So James will be the very first one. He's Director, Chief Appraiser for Paulding County Board Tax Assessors. He'll let everyone know about the notice assessments going out. They started on June the 2nd. And about the appeal period time. So, Mr. Stokes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we've got a beautiful crowd here. So it's that fun time of year. Assessment notices has gone out. Of course, we're receiving phone calls. This year, a little bit different than in previous years. We got a couple different things going on. Values have gone flat. They started last year, about 30% of the properties in the county were actually going down in value. This year, it's about 50%. That are going down in values, and the ones that are going up, it's modest, to be honest with you. Of course, that would be in the eyes of the holder if you got that increase. But with the questions that we're receiving, there's a new notice. That new notice no longer has a tax estimate on there. It does explain the homestead exemption a little bit more. We're receiving quite a few calls due to that new assessment notice. It's not Paulding's notice of assessment. That's across the state. Everybody's having to provide this same exact notice. The tax estimate, if property owners want to know kind of an estimate of what this new value and my exemptions could do with my property taxes, you can go on our website. Our website, it breaks down the estimated property tax, how much money goes to the first responders, how much money goes to DOT, REC, things like that. So people know where their tax dollars are going. This is also the time, if you're not claiming a homestead exemption, now is the time to do it. You've got around 45 days to apply for your homestead exemption. That homestead period is year-round, but there is a deadline of the July 17th date. If If you disagree with the information on the assessment notice, by all means, contact our office. You have to do that by July 17th. One of the things that I constantly notice with some of our feedback and the information that we're receiving on the appeals is I can understand why it's questioned, because here we are in June, we're sending something saying your value of your property is X. That value is based on January 1. So we're already 6 months into the year, and we're using sales that are occurring in the previous, generally 12 months prior to that January 1. But we constantly have people that say, here's the properties that are for sale in my neighborhood, here's what Zillow says, here's what so-and-so online source says. You have to use that time period of the 12 months preceding that January 1. When we do receive that kind of information from a property owner, we reach out to them and say, hey, we've got it, we understand. However, we really need that information, prior to the January 1. And if anybody has any questions, by all means. The last thing we want anybody to do is miss a deadline. It's Friday, July 17th. Do not miss that deadline if you question anything. That doesn't mean you have to go through with an appeal. It's not a formal process, but we want to be able to address questions that the property owners have. And I'll be glad to take questions from anybody.
Go ahead, Virginia.
I wanted to ask you, I had somebody ask me yesterday, if they appealed last year and they won their appeal, is that automatically frozen, or only if they went all the way to the court level to do that?
If there is a section in Georgia law that if you appeal up through an appeal board, so that's a board of equalization, an arbitrator, or superior court, then, and your value gets reduced, then that value is set for that year and the 2 following years. There's a lot of caveats to that. Property ownership change, you make a change to your property. There's a lot of different things that can affect that, but generally speaking, you win your appeal, the value is frozen for that year and the 2 following years, yes.
Okay, and then also, just because of the change in state law, if somebody's value went up and they were under homestead before, then their tax is not going to go up, correct? I mean, if the rate remains the same, because it will be, is that right? Because it'll be...
Not exactly.
Okay, well, explain that.
Okay, so the way, and I'm assuming you're talking about the new floating homestead. All right, so the new floating homestead, Paulding County and the cities, they opted to stay in the statewide floating homestead. So your value is based on whatever that value was in '24. If your value today is less than that value, you're going to pay property tax on that lesser of the value. If your value has gone up, then you would pay taxes on the 2024 value. It's an exemption. So that's why they call it floating. If your value goes up, so does that exemption amount. However, the floating exemption for this year does not affect the school system. So they're out of that school system. The voters voted it in, but it does not take effect until next year. So to just a blanket statement that the float is going to knock off and keep you level, right now that's not the case, but moving forward it probably will be.
It's pretty complex, isn't it?
It is a wonderful thing administering it.
I'm sure. Thank you for doing that, James.
Any other questions or comments? James, I'll have one. We're very fortunate to have you in this county. The state of Georgia, and I'm going to brag on you a little bit. The state of Georgia, we have a lot of departments in the Paulding County. I know of 5 that they look for your expertise and knowledge to help an area. You sit on a panel of 3. Is that online somewhere, that panel? That one that you did down in Savannah?
Not that I'm aware. You're talking about the ACCG?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it needs to be. But the 5, we've got 5 that the county looks at, because we run a tight ship in those, and I know there's some more knocking on the door. So thank you for your all
Thank you
your
very
hard
much.
work and everything that you do up there. Next, we'll have our CFO, April Myers, to come up and speak on regarding the fiscal year budget for your review. Ms. Myers,
Good morning.
good morning.
We've released the proposed FY27 budget, and it's available to the public at paulding.gov, so you can go there and download it. I would like everyone to know that we'll be holding a public hearing on the proposed budget Tuesday, July 28th at the 10 a.m. VOC work session meeting.
And of course, that'll be online too, so. And I think y'all just did some sort of a different review today, didn't you? And I've gone through it.
We'll be continuously reviewing and making any changes throughout the next month and a half.
You think taxes are complex, the budget is also. But thank you for both of y'all's work on what you do. At this time, no public participation on agenda items we do not have. We have 3 consent agendas to consider these items. The first one is to approve the decommissioning of the old UHF radio system and the disposal of its components by auction or potential donation to the Amateur Radio Emergency Services known as the ARES. Mr. Mumford, is he here? Oh, just read through them. The second would be approve the transfer of ownership and custody of 33 reveal body-worn cameras together with the associated charging and docking stations, monitors, and related hardware to the Paulding County School District Police Department. And the next one, or the last one, would be to accept the street listed for perpetual maintenance by the county, and that would be Palisades Phase 1B, and that's at Burrick Way. Would any of the board or commissioners like to move any of these to new business for discussion? Nope, not at that time. No old business right now. We have new business coming up. The first one is to discuss action to authorize the chairman to execute option to purchase the right-of-way for the sale realty of parcel 68, partial ID 31.2.2.019.quad 0 in the amount of $128,200,000 Cedar Crest Road widening project. That would be the PI 0013700 funding for this allocation from SPLOS with reimbursement for up to $5 million from the Federal Highway Administration. This project is located in Post 1 and also in Post 4, Ms. Parrish.
Yes, sir. On December 12th, 2017, Trend Systems was awarded the contract by the Board of Commissioners for the preliminary engineering design services for the Cedar Crest Road widening project from Harmony Grove Church Road to the Cobb County line located in Post 1 and 4. On October 23rd of 2023, the Board of Commissioners awarded a consultant services agreement to LJA, which is formerly known as BM&K, for right-of-way acquisition. Federal funding was secured from the Atlanta Regional Commission, ARC, to fund a portion of the right-of-way phase at $5 million, 80% federal, and the remaining being locally funded at a minimum of 20% local match. With federal funding awarded to the project, the Georgia Department of Transportation is overseeing the project management of the right-of-way acquisition. During the right-of-way phase, the consultant right-of-way acquisition team establishes property value for each parcel required for the project per an appraisal. Those values are then submitted to the Georgia Department of Transportation for review and concurrence. Once the approval is received from Georgia DOT, the consultant, on behalf of the county, will begin contacting property owners regarding project impacts to their parcels, as well as compensation and acquisition. Funding will be from SPLOST with reimbursement up to the $5 million from the Federal Highway Administration. An appraisal was completed and submitted to Georgia DOT for review on parcel 68 with a total valuation of $92,713. Georgia DOT concurred with the valuation. BM&K contacted the property owner to discuss the project needs and compensation, and a counteroffer was submitted to the county for consideration at $161,200, which included compensation for increased land values and a slightly higher damage value to the property. Paulding County DOT discussed this internally and presented this counteroffer to the Board of Commissioners during closed session on April 14th of 2026. As we discussed those values, a determination was made to counter back at with the property owner at $128,200. The counteroffer was presented to the property owner on May 11th of 2026. A signed option for $128,200 was signed by the property owner's representatives. We would like to request that the Board of Commissioners consider authorizing the chairman to execute the option to purchase this right-of-way for the sale of realty for parcel 68, which is parcel ID number 031.2.2.019.0000, in the amount of $128,200 for the Cedar Crest Road Widening Project, PI 0013700. Funding will be from SPLIST with reimbursement up to $5 million from the Federal Highway Administration.
Good from the board. Any questions or comments for Ms. Parrish? Not at this time. Thank you, Ms. Parrish.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next, we'll discuss action to authorize the assistant to firefighters grant, which is known as the AFG application for the funding opportunity number DHS-24-GPD-044-00-98 on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and the Paulding County Fire Rescue for the purchase of a high-capacity tank truck. This grant funding for the amount of $500,000 will be with a local match of $74,950 for a total amount of $574,950. Chief Brubaker.
Yeah, so currently the county operates 3 tanker trucks. Each of these carry anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 gallons of water. They're mainly used for areas in the county that do not have the hydrants or the water supply that we need. Really just allows us to bring the supplies that we need as we go to a structure fire. The 3 that we have are 90 model apparatuses, so they're well over the 25 years that we should be operating them. We did just get one refurbished. It cost us around the $40,000 mark to get what we needed, but it's still operating with the old engine and things like that within it. So this grant is just a good opportunity for us to tap into through FEMA. The AFG grant has been proven to be effective. I've had great success with it at other departments. And this department also had success with it with buying truck 2 out in Hiram. So basically all we're asking for is that y'all just have our back with it. We're not guaranteed that we'll get this, but it's definitely something I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to get some free money. Our goal is to stay around the $550,000 mark, just to where we hit our 10% match and only have to put $50,000 as a county. But we did put some extra in there just in case with the price changes and stuff like that with apparatus. This will still have to go through either a bid process or HGAC. We'll probably lean more toward the HGAC just to where we have some more say-so in the process. But other than that, we just ask y'all to support us as we go for it.
Good. Any questions or comments from the board?
I do. Should we be awarded, when would we be receiving?
So if we get notification November, December timeframe, depending on the manufacturer that we go with, it can be anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. So it just depends on who we go with.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chief. Next will be discuss action to authorize the chairman to approve the purchase of fitness equipment and the installation of the same at White Oak Park from Superior Recreation Products under the Sourcewell contract in the amount of $115,860.30. Mr. Justice.
Good morning.
Good
Let's
morning.
talk about some fun stuff here for a second. At White Oak Park, when we opened that park many years ago, we installed some fitness stations, old wooden fitness stations with some metal pieces. That was quite a while ago, and those pieces have deteriorated and broken and been repaired, and they are beyond end of life. So this will allow us to replace that equipment. Playground equipment, fitness equipment is very hard to spec and do bid work with because of the differences in the products, and writing those specs can be challenging. We're very fortunate that the Sourcewell, the national co-op, has some of these projects that are already vetted for us, so we don't have to go out for bid on these. Superior Recreational Products is one of those, and we would recommend award so that we can begin replacing that equipment.
I got one. What kind of equipment is that? Is it free weights or is it machines?
No, sir. No, sir. It's all, it would be driven by body weight.
Okay.
So it's all.
Is it mostly
metal.
isometric?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And there are grass mats included in this project for underneath every one of the stations.
And what will be the hours of operation for?
At White Oak, it's a daylight to dark park. It is not open after dark.
So anybody can get in there and use it?
Absolutely. Be located along the fitness trail within the park.
Any other questions or comments from the board?
Michael, what's the timeline on getting it completed if the approval is done?
At least 6 months. At least 6 months.
Any others?
I just want to say I'm super excited about this. I love that equipment. I actually do use it.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people say, why are you so fat? Well, I'd be a lot fatter if
Were
I
you the
didn't
one
use that
that broke
equipment.
it?
I did not break it. But anyway, thank you for
Yes,
getting
ma'am.
that done.
I
So-
did not include that this is located in White Oak in Post 1, and it is Recreation SPOS dollars funded.
Any others? Thank you, Mr. Justice.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Next is number 12, and it is to discuss action to authorize the county to enter into a tri-party agreement with First Center Incorporated and the D.R. Horton Incorporated, exchanging 12.2 acres of Mount Tabor Park North Riverside Access Easement via restricted deed to tax parcel 106.2.1.0044. 0. The performance of certain park improvements by the First Center and the contributing of $175,000 by D.R. Horton for the park pavilion improvement. And I want to say thank you, Keith Dunn. You've been working on this a long time, buddy, and he's been battling for y'all, and it looks like it's coming down to being finished. And at the end, there's more in here that what we say. I'm going to get you to tell everybody what other the things that the county is going to be contributing. But Mr. Justice, we'll go with you first, and you can.
This one has not been as fun as the previous agenda item by any means, and I'll echo your comments. Thank you to Commissioner Dunn for his efforts in making this happen. It has been a long process with some tenuous meetings, I would guess you would call them, and we're very thankful. All of you are aware of Mount Tabor Park and a project that happened there a year or so ago with a access road for a development there at the front of the park. The park was disrupted because of that, and we had some land that we can no longer use. It's a long linear piece of property that doesn't make sense for us to do any type of development on there. So that's the parcel that we were talking about there. I made some notes that I'll read from to make sure that I don't forget any of it. So bear with me for a minute. This parcel, if approved, does include a deed restriction that would prohibit any development of any homes on that parcel. So that's very important to note. It can be used if they're going to do recreational amenity, but no homes will be built on that project. And that was one of the major points of this, is to make sure that we don't do that there. The language includes requirements for the developer and the builder to install a decorative fence down the entirety of that access road. It is a safety issue when we have people in our parking lots that are backing out, that parked there for 20 plus years, that didn't have any traffic coming behind them, and now they do, and people walking back and forth across there. So it's a safety issue. And we made sure that the fencing is included in that. Portions of the trail that were disturbed, the asphalt walking trail and the mountain bike trails are part of this. They will be reconnected and restored. Cash contribution is included in this that will allow us to construct 2 new pavilions there in the tennis pickleball area, as well as make improvements to the gazebo down at the pond located in Mount Tabor. And the land swap portion is a piece that's located on East Paulding Drive, and I'll let Commissioner Dunn or Mr. Phillips address that when it comes. This is a positive. It will go along with a project that we currently have out for bid that is a county project that creates new parking and new access to those same trails, the pavilions, the playground, that sort of thing there within the park. So hopefully soon. I would say, that project's out for bid now. We've already had the pre-bid meetings, a couple of weeks more in the bid process, and then we'll review those bids and have that back in front of you for award. So it's all going to tie it back together, make Mount Tabor one piece again. And again, I can't thank Commissioner Dunn. Commissioner Caker has been involved in some of those discussions as well. So thank you very much for your help in
and I'm going to get Mr. Phillips next, and then we'll ask questions and comments from both of you, if that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Mr. Justice, and I'll try not to repeat any of the details that Michael has gone over. As Michael alluded to, back in 2018, the Board of Commissioners approved an access easement through the park. That was some 8 years ago. It's an access easement running from East Paulding Drive down into the Riverwood Homeowners. It's to the Riverwood Homeowners Association, but it's down to the Riverwood neighborhood. Since that time, over the last 8 years, I think the county has now constructed a new entrance to the park, which has relegated the old entrance as unnecessary. I drove through there this morning in preparation for addressing this morning, and it just appeared to me that it's 12.2 acres. It is on the north side of the easement up to the park line. And as Mr. Justice indicated, that section of the park, it's undeveloped. It is actually a little bit disjointed from the park now. And by doing this exchange, it will allow that area to no longer be on the county inventory. And it's going to be 12.2 acres. And in exchange, the county is also going to acquire a 2-acre parcel from First Center Incorporated. As a part of this process, we have had both of these parcels appraised. The 12.2 acres of park property that will go to FCI, First Center Inc., with the deed restriction is currently appraised at $40,000. The parcel that the county will be receiving in return, which is 2 acres located at the intersection of East Paulding Drive and Johnny B. Camp Road, that property has been appraised at $102,400. As Mr. Justice said, as part of this exchange, D.R. Horton will be contributing $175,000 for pavilion improvements. And I'll defer to Mr. Dunn. I'll add one thing. This will be up for decision at your 2 o'clock regular session meeting.
there's not a whole lot I can add to this. I just want to thank you guys for, especially your patience. This was one of the first things I got elected. I got thrown into a conference room full of attorneys and developers and a lot of elevated opinions about the use of that access easement that had been granted prior to me being elected. And anybody that utilizes Mount Tabor Park understands it created a very unsafe situation for the citizens that use that park. There's been a lot of tug of war back and forth about how we can use it, when it gets developed, how it gets developed. It's been a struggle, and I just kind of I made it a personal goal to get this taken care of, and we finally got to a place where this is a good result for Paulding County. It's 12 acres of landlocked property that we cannot use, that our citizens, if you get over there, it's unsafe to get back to the other parts of the park. So what this does is creates a clear black and white defining point of this is not park property, this is park property. The existing parking lot was not engineered and constructed for through traffic, and it's created a very unsafe situation back there. Especially, my personal concern has been that it's in front of the playground where kids get out of cars and try to access the playground. So this is a good thing, and I very much appreciate the board's support and help. Michael, Jason, I know we've no less than 10 different drafts that we've done of this over the course of about 5 years. So thank you all very much. This is a good deal for the county. It really is, especially with the cash contribution. We're going to get a lot of park improvements up there. So
Tell us about some of the park improvement, because it's not listed in here, but there's other stuff that is going to benefit the county.
Yeah, like Michael stated, the $175,000 is, the intent is to build 2 covered pavilions between the tennis courts and the pickleball courts to provide some shade for the people that use that in the hot months. And then we're going to rebuild the covered dock down at the lake below the playground area. In addition to, again, like Michael stated, they're going to restore all the disrupted paths. That's been a big complaint over the course of the years. They're going to replace the asphalt walking trail that got disrupted. There's probably a couple hundred yards, I don't know the exact dimension, that's not currently paved. They disrupted some of the lighting on the paved walkway. They're going to make those repairs. The mountain bike trails, they're going to restore those. And something, Michael, I don't know that you did say this, they're responsible for constructing the access to the new parking lot.
That's correct.
As well, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think we dotted all the i's and crossed every t's and got Mount Tabor back to the way it should be. So
Took 5 years, but you done it.
yes,
Thanks.
sir. Yep, thank you.
Any, go ahead. That deserves a clap. Does the board have any questions or comments for one of the 3 or all 3?
I do have a question for Mr. Phillips. I'm looking quickly through the contract, and I didn't see where it is in the contract that they can't build more houses. Can you just point that out to me so I can rest?
There's a deed restriction, and I can find it in the contract, but I'm going to read what the deed restriction says.
Okay.
The deed restriction, quote, prohibits the construction of residential, commercial, or industrial dwellings/buildings, but that will allow the construction of tennis courts, pickleball courts, signage, monuments, fencing, and entrance hardscape and landscape.
Okay, thank you.
No houses.
Good. It's okay with me.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, guys. Job well done.
Thank you.
Next, we'll discuss action to award the purchase of 12,000 AMI water meters and transmitter equipment to Kendall Supply in the amount not to exceed $4,200,000 from the Renewal and Extension Fund, and this is located in all 4 posts. Mr. Wooten.
Good morning again. This is related to the AMI meter replacement project. We are a sole source census system All our meters are census that we're replacing. And here, Kendall Supply is the census representative for the state of Georgia, which includes Paulding County. And we're requesting to purchase, with this request, 12,000 meters and transmitters in the amount of $4,200,000 from Kendall Supply. Like I said, this will help us in our replacement as we go forward for our AMI system.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Wooten?
Ray, do you mind explaining so that everyone clearly understands the difference between an AMR and an AMI meter?
Okay, I'll give an overview. The county has multiple types of meters. The newer meters they have what you call an M unit on the meter, which means it sends a signal to a station that receives it, that inputs it into our system. We've got some older displacement meters that have a spin to it. You've got some touch read meters that you have to go by and physically touch to actually record the number on it. And then we have the R units that you drive down the street and it gets a signal to a data collector that takes in all the numbers. So in moving to an AMI system, what that does, that allows us to bring all the meters and see them on a regular basis, bring them into the water system so that we can send out a consistent monthly bill. It also allows us, if someone has a meter question, says, hey, what's happening with my bill? It's going up. We can actually see it and let them know, oh, it looks like you've got flow coming through at night. You might have a leaky toilet or something. But the AMI versus the AMR, you're basically taking reading from out into the field to where we receive it directly in the office, and we can be more efficient with what we do for our customers. Does that kind of answer?
Ray, can you also explain the difference between the ability to read accuracy?
Yeah, the older meters, such as displacement meters that spin, sometimes they won't spin accurately. They lose over time the ability to where sometimes they may freeze up, water goes by them. Sometimes they could possibly go in reverse. But the new meters that we're using, and these are the ones that we've been using for the past few years, they can record electronically. It flows directly through a tube, and it measures it through the tube, and it measures up to spoonfuls that goes through. So you're not going to have water go in reverse. We can record all the water accurately, plus we'll be able to see it in the office for every hour that it comes in. Okay.
Thank you. Any others from the board? Thank you, Mr. Wooten. Appreciate that. Next, we'll discuss action to approve the development agreement with Trayton Homes LLC for a development contribution of $373,455 for the necessary pump station improvement at the Millard Glen Pump Station, which will serve the Parkstone development. And this is located in Post 3.
Okay, there is a development coming on board called Parkstone by Trayton LLC that's developing off of 92. They will be draining their wastewater flow back to a facility known as Mallard Glen Pump Station. As part of the development of that neighborhood and the increased flow that will be coming, the development agreement requires them to do upgrades to that facility, including, fencing, new pumps, new mountings, and odor control, so that going into the future, you'll have a brand new pump station that's going to take care of existing customers as well as the new development. And that payment for all of those improvements will be made by the developers, so they're not being paid for by ratepayers.
Any other questions or comments from the board? I don't see any. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wooten.
Thank you.
Next, we will discuss action to award the jail HVAC supervisory control system transmitter project to Max Air in the amount of $123,863. We'll start off with Chief Deputy Hurst.
I'm gonna fill in for him this morning.
Okay.
How's everybody doing this morning?
Doing good.
Good. So this system, we've been working on this for the last couple of years. What the jail's experiencing right now, we got 39 units on top of the roof. Currently 9 units we can't control from inside the jail. So that's causing our maintenance team to go up on top of the roof to control those settings. And it's affecting a big portion of the jail where the inmates are housed. Again, the other piece of this puzzle is the heat and air system is running constantly because we can't control it. So this is also going to save the taxpayers and the county some money if we can get the system up and going. Jeremiah and myself have been working on this project. Ms. Tabitha's had a good hand in as well. Just something we've been trying to work on for the last few years to kind of be more proactive.
And it's going to save quite a bit of money. We're spending how much money on the old system?
Yeah, the old system, we spent the last couple of years about $150,000 on it, just trying to piece it along, you know.
Captain Thomas, I've got both of y'all speaking, so am I hearing you say it's just going to be you speaking today? Okay.
On this line item, yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions for Captain Thomas?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much.
Next, we'll discuss action to approve the emergency purchase of material to replace a pipework damage by a failing 42-inch fitting at the river intake pump station, feeding the Richland Creek Reservoir, costing approximately $12,559.90. Excuse me. From Consolidated Pipe and Supply Company, this purchase is funded through the Renewal and Extension Fund, and this is located in Post 4. Mr. Wooten again.
Yes, at our river intake, which is where we pump water from the river all the way into the reservoir itself, we had a failure where a 42-inch Y, which is what it looks like, where 2 pipes come into 1 pipe, it failed. It split along its side and created a lot of damage, and we're having to go in and replace that. We received a quote from Consolidated Pipe and Supply Company to provide all the materials to replace it at a cost of $112,559.90. As we're doing this, we've also contacted U.S. Pipe, who fabricated the fitting, and they have come over. They were with us when we exposed it. They're doing some metallurgy on the pipe itself, but we've basically let them know that we're going to hold them responsible for the fitting itself, and we're working through to try to have them pay for all this, as well as the work it's going to take to replace the Y. They are actually, they've picked up the pipe piece and they actually have it at their offices. But in order to make the repair that they're going to pay for hopefully later, we need this equipment to basically cover a new Y, the mega lugs, the sleeve, to make the repair so we're back up and operating at 100%. The reservoir is at full pool, and this is not going to, I don't want to scare anybody that we can't get water coming into the reservoir. But we are at full pool right now, but we need to get this replaced to take care of the reservoir.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Wooten? I know the next item is about the Y, but let me ask you, what would cause a Y to split? Is it age? Is it defective?
It's split down the seam. Basically, they had two sections and they welded them together. A Y is not normally spun like most pipe. They're actually having to assemble it. Their sub that does assemble it is actually out of Mexico. But the best way for me to kind of say it is they have two dishes on top of each other with glue around the dishes, only it's pipe and pipe in a welded seam. It's split right between the two pieces, and it went vertically along that seam. We've got some thoughts as to, during the fabrication procedure, that it cooled too fast when they were making it, which means it would have kind of turned it from ductile to cast iron, because ductile, you got to be real careful when you're doing it. But we do not know. That's the reason they're doing the metallurgy on it, the study on why it did fail at U.S. Pipe. So, and we are also checking, we've got a lab that's checking it too, just in case they come up with a different answer, which I don't think they will.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Any other questions or comments?
I wanted to ask, what is the timeline on getting that replaced?
Our agreement right now is we're going ahead and replacing it. It'll take us about 3 days to get this all done.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going forward, and they are we're pressing them to reimburse us for all the work and the pipe work.
Great, thank you.
Any others?
Ray, looking at these pictures you included with the backup information, was there any damage at all to the structure up there?
Well, we did have some fill, but nothing that, it's just a little bit of undermining right around the corner, but structurally the building is sound. We are going to have to vac it out because we did end up with some dirt and water inside the building, but nothing structurally that we're going to be worried about.
Any others? All right, the next one would be, I guess I'm on 17. I lost my place, yeah.
I believe so, that's correct.
Discuss action to approve the emergency contract for all work associated with the failure of that 42-inch Y at the Richland Creek River Intake Pump Station at the cost not to exceed $80,000 with Ruby Collins. This purchase is funded through the Renewal and Extension Fund, and this is located in Post 4. Mr. Ruby.
This is pretty much the work that's required with that same material that we've requested. And, oh, okay. Okay, little reset. So, but what we're trying to do is, this is for the contractor to actually do the work. And they've been uncovering all the materials so that when the pipe was removed for U.S. Pipe, that they were able to see what it was look like. And the contractor that will be doing the work, they're also going to be stabilizing the banks where it went back into the river. They're going to be stabilizing the building, as well as confirming and testing and make sure all our pipe work is where it needs to be. But this is the contractor doing the work with the material that was requested from the last item.
Ray, do we have the new fitting yet?
We have the new fitting on site, yes.
It is on site now?
On site, it's been coated, it's ready to go. It's just when we removed the other one, U.S. Pipe they flew a guy special in to look at it on site, because that's all he does. And he shook his head when we pulled it out because he saw what he got. But the new fitting, like I said, we've got it coming from Consolidated. If we had to miss this first boat, it might have been 12 weeks before we could get another one. So,
And see if I understand. We're going to install it. They're going to reimburse us?
That is correct. We're asking for the installation, which is this item, and the material from the last item. And we've been communicating directly with, not our level, but the folks that are running the company, and they've sent a guy out specially to look at it, brought it back to test it, so we'll feel comfortable that we will be reimbursed.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Wooten.
Thank you.
Next is discuss action to appoint the following to the Joint Development Authority to a 3-year term beginning on June the 9th, 2026, and ending December the 31st, 2028. Those three are our President and CEO of the EDO IBA, and that's Al Dorvar, Dan Nolan, the IBA Chairman, and also Doug Shaw, which is our EDO Chairman. Next, we will discuss action to appoint Vernon Collette to the Paulding County Board of Election to fill the unexpired term of Miss Peggy Willis with a term ending in June the 30th of 2029. Any questions or comments on those two?
Mr. Chair, I'll defer to Tabitha on number 18.
Okay. Commissioners, about a month ago, we voted to join the Development Authority, the Joint Development Authority for Polk, Floyd, and Bartow. That Joint Development Authority was brought to us for about a year ago, and so we were working on trying to put that together or to become a part of that. And the reason we wanted to become a part of that is the Georgia Department of Economic Development came back to us and said, you are missing out on a tax credit for your businesses in Paulding County. And so specifically, the advantage that this gives the businesses is known as the Business Expansion Support Act of 1994, or the BEST program. And it allows them the opportunity that if they add more jobs to their business, it gives them a $500 tax credit. But if we are not a part of that Joint Development Authority, that credit is not available. And so that's the reason for the Joint Development Authority, and these are just the appointees to that authority.
Any questions or comments on the board? It's good to know people down at the state that make those recommendations.
And that's a state tax credit, correct?
Yes.
Provided by the state of Georgia.
Yes.
And I'll speak to 19.
Okay.
This is the, on the county election board, the late Peggy Wills has served on that board since its creation in 2007 until her passing very recently. So her passing created a vacancy, and the recommendation to fill her unexpired term is the appointment of Mr. Vernon Collette to that board. Our county election board is it's all about, the best way I describe it, the sausage making of how elections are run. It gets into a heavy emphasis on statutes, rules, and regulations. It certainly stays out of politics. And with this vacancy here, I think Mr. Collette's recommended appointment to that. He, as a former elected official, I think he have a very valuable insight to the board on how they tackle problems and how they recognize the pressures that the various people running for office feel while they're going through this process. But that is a recommendation for the appointment of Mr. Collette.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Any other comments? Or?
How long is that term, Jason?
This term, it ends June 30th, 2029. So whatever that math works out to be, about 3 years, I think.
3 years?
3.
Okay.
Any others? Okay, that's conclusion of our regular business. Public participation on non-agenda items. We do have 10 people who are going to speak. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have Ms. Richards come up first. Did you want to make your announcement now or later? Or?
Yes, just so everybody is aware, I know that there was some discussion last time. The ordinance in this requires that, a lot of people will ask these questions. How come I can't sign up? Or how come I wanted to sign up and didn't get the opportunity to speak? So in our public participation ordinance, we divide it between agenda items and non-agenda items. The chairman held up this earlier today. At the beginning of each session, if there is an agenda item that's on the board's agenda that a citizen would like to speak to, they're given the opportunity to sign up and identify what that agenda item is, and they'll be given 5 minutes. If there is an item that a citizen that wants to speak to that's not on the agenda, then the Board of Commissioners has afforded an opportunity for those citizens to sign up by 5 o'clock on the Friday before a meeting so that we can add them to the agenda. And the simple requirement is that you sign up by that time, you identify what your topic is. And in this case, I think we have 10 folks here, so everyone is limited to 5 minutes. That is the ordinance. Of course, I don't believe that there'll be any extensions simply because we've got a lot of folks on the agenda.
Good. We'll start you off, Ms. Richards. So,
okay. My name is Jeannie Richards, and I'm a proud resident of Paulding County. Before I begin, I want to thank each of you for your service to our county. I'm privileged to call a couple of you and your families close friends, and no matter if we agree or disagree, you will always have my utmost respect and gratitude for your service and what you do for our county. I'm here to respectfully but firmly ask that when the time comes for you to vote on what will be built on these technology overlays, you will reject data center development near homes and neighborhoods. After marrying my husband Scott 4 years ago, I was introduced to Paulding County, and I quickly came to love it as my home. I found a community where families could thrive, neighbors still looked out for one another, and growth could happen without sacrificing the values, the beauty, and the character that make this county so special. Today, I'm asking you to stand with the residents you represent and protect that vision before it is permanently changed. This discussion is about more than technology overlays or data centers. It's about trust, transparency, stewardship, and whether citizens believe their voices still matter. Many residents were unfamiliar with technology overlays when they were approved and did not fully understand what they could eventually permit. As a result, many people feel caught off guard by the potential consequences of these overlays. As a 30-year retired educator, I spent my career teaching students that words have meaning. It wasn't enough to give them a term and move on. My job was to ensure that they understood what that term meant and how it applied to the real world and why it mattered. I believe government has a similar responsibility. Transparency requires more than just naming a policy. It requires ensuring citizens understand what it could mean for their families, their homes, and their future. There is one question that many residents continue to ask, and I hope this board will seriously consider it. When residents in Post 4, which is where I live, voiced concerns about a technology overlay near their homes and neighborhoods, action was taken pretty immediately to remove it. But residents in other posts have raised many of the same concerns. They've attended meetings, they've submitted comments, organized groups, spoken publicly, and they've asked to be heard. So what makes their concerns any less worthy of consideration? A citizen's voice should not carry more weight simply because of the post they live in or the commissioner who represents them. If this board ultimately votes to remove the technology overlay in Post 4 because residents opposed it, then citizens deserve to understand why that same principle would not apply to the other post. Fairness requires consistency. I'm not asking for special treatment for any post. I'm simply asking that every post be treated equally. The same standard that protected one post should protect every post. For many of us, our homes are not simply investments on a spreadsheet. They are where we raised our children, where we gather with family on holidays, where neighbors become lifelong friends, and where some of our most cherished memories are made. When people speak passionately about protecting their communities, they're not protecting just land. They're protecting a way of life. Commissioners, this is not about being anti-technology, anti-business, or anti-growth. Its location is what matters. These facilities are industrial-scale operations that require significant infrastructure, consume enormous amounts of power, operate around the clock, and permanently alter the areas around them. They raise legitimate concerns about quality of life, property values, and the long-term character of surrounding neighborhoods. You are the elected representatives of the people of Paulding County. You are not just representing parcels of land or lines on a map. You represent the families who have built their lives here, the homeowners who have invested their futures here, parents raising their children here, and the citizens who simply want to know that their voices still matter. All we have is our voice, and today we're asking you to not only hear us, but to stand with us and protect the communities you were elected to serve. Every public servant leaves behind a legacy. One day our children and grandchildren will inherit the decisions that you make today. They will live with the consequences long after all of us are gone. We are stewards of Paulding County for only a brief moment in time. The question is not simply what can we build? The question is what are we willing to lose in order to build it? And more importantly, what can we preserve? As Christians, we are called to be faithful stewards of what has been entrusted to us. Scripture reminds us that wisdom requires us to consider not only what is possible, but what is right. Not every opportunity should be pursued simply because it can be. Sometimes true leadership requires the courage to protect what is already valuable. As you consider decisions that will shape Paulding County for generations to come, I respectfully ask that you look beyond the promises, weigh the long-term consequences, and seek God's wisdom.
Your time's up, ma'am.
Okay. God bless Paulding County. God bless you.
Well spoken, Miss Richard. Appreciate that. Next, we have Richard Martin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. I'd like to voice my concerns about the data centers. I'm Richard Martin. I live on Electric Dam Road, 1207. The reason I live here is I looked for a piece of property that had one of the things I was looking for was a dirt road. I found that. For some of you, that might find that funny, but that was one of my things that I looked for. So now I live on a dirt road, which is now got millings on it, which has improved the road, which is a lot better than dirt. This is a lifestyle all of our neighbors and myself cherish. We are all on wells on this road. After the last meeting, I was asked by my commissioner if I had no property taxes, would I say yes to the data centers? It's not about the money for the residences on Electric Dam Road. It's about the lifestyle that was here, and we came here to build our future, raise our children and grandchildren, and now retire. Is Electric Dam Road off the list for the future data centers? There's a question. These buildings, which I've spent some of my career helping build, this kind of building should be put in the right place, not near a residential area. These companies have a lot of money that you can't even imagine. They are buying up some of the most beautiful land in the state. Water and electricity is what they need, plus the land. There should be a moratorium on this matter with more careful planning. From Blue Ridge and Helen to Savannah, the Okefenokee, and the back roads surrounding small Georgia towns, many residents believe growth should never come at a cost. Everything that made people love the state and the place they live. Sometimes saying no is about protecting what future generations deserve to inherit. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Mr. Martin. Next, we have John Callis coming up to speak.
Morning, Commissioners and fellow 30127 crew. Thank you for showing up today, and thank you for having this meeting. It's extremely important that communication get out to the general public. Again, my name's John. Hi. I live on Wimberley Way. It's the last street right before Brownsville and Bethel Church Road. And I still think that we're looking at the two areas, the Tidwell Road and the KRR Sweetwater Road project, if that's the word we're going to call it, because there are no firm plans for one. This chain of events is extremely concerning because it's, again, directly in my backyard. The KRR partial, Bethel Church Road, backs up to our home in our neighborhood, and definitely our quality of life is at stake. For me personally, I needed to get the word out. And without social media, I did what any old man over 60 does, printed out flyers and went and handed them out myself. I took it upon myself to distribute approximately 500 no data centers in Paulding County flyers to the neighborhoods off Highway 92, my own Wimberley Way. Some con person did Enclave Drive, Sweetwater Drive behind Grand, Sweetwater behind Food Depot, Brownsville Road, Breckenridge, Brownsville Road, Lake Buckingham, Indian Trail, Pilgrim Lake, Indian Creek. Walking each neighborhood myself provided me with the clarity I think the Lord has been driving my decision to, and my position has changed at this time. I feel, after speaking with not hundreds, but was speaking with the voting public in those neighborhoods, that simply we do not want a data center in our residential communities. Thank you. I'm trying here. Give me some applause. They are uniquely burdensome use of land that imposes a disproportionate negative effect to infrastructure, environmental, and community costs relative to their local benefits. While walking each neighborhood, I did it last week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30. Check your cameras. That was me. I spoke with a number of homeowners. I basically didn't want to get shot. That's why I was talking to them, because as I entered the neighborhood, by the time I got to the end of the neighborhood, they were coming out to talk to me. Not one family, not one person I spoke to, and I'm being extremely honest, knew anything about data centers possibly coming into our residential neighborhoods. Not one person. And there was one sign in someone's neighborhood, but I didn't get to talk to them, so that was nice. I just find this extremely concerning, because if it's going to happen in my neighborhood, I walked our neighborhood, these people honestly didn't know anything was happening. And I said to myself, how can this happen? And basically, we all need to do a better job of communicating what the county's vision is for projects, especially ones as controversial as data centers. You know, some had suggested, and we talked a couple times, that us as concerned citizens find an alternate land for the Technology Park Overlay District. And unfortunately, I've got a full-time job, a second full-time job at home with cancer. I honestly don't have the bandwidth for a third full-time job to be able to be a real estate agent and broker. If you need me to negotiate the contract, that's what I get paid to do. But doing that, unfortunately, that's not time in my day. Below, I have 6 quick points. In a minute. 6 quick points that everyone brought up. Massive electrical grid impact with low local return. Why would the county take on infrastructure risks without proportional community benefits? Number 2, water consumption and cooling strain. Basically, we're in a level 1 drought. Come on. Why would the county allocate scarce water resources to low employment industrial use instead of housing or diversified economic growth without proportional community benefit? Number 3, noise and constant industrial sounds. If these are going to take 5 to 8 years to build, then in my backyard, I've got 5 to 8 years of building like I'm living in Beirut. And then once the data center gets going, no offense if anyone's from Beirut, and then once the data center is built, then I've got the continual hum that's going on there. Land use efficiency, opportunity costs,
Ms.
please.
Collins, your time's up.
I know. Think of a way to better use and utilize our resources. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next, we'll have Joy March, M-A-C-H-K. Is she here? Nope, no Joy. Oh, here she is. Nope, no, she's not. All right, then the next.
Again if you want. I wasn't done, by the way.
You'll have to clear that with Joy. She's not here to approve that. Gregory.
Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeff. Jeff Baird, was he here? Yep.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Baird, and I lived in Paulding County for 23 years. As a computer enthusiast who has built many computers for myself, family, and friends, I keep attuned to computer technology trends. And I can tell you that as far as data centers are concerned, even if the water, power, and noise issues are addressed, of which I'm still not necessarily convinced, there is still one major open issue: that the sudden explosion of data centers in our society has resulted in computer component scarcity that has driven prices skyward. This affects all of us, whether we use computers for business or for otherwise. For example, a year and a half ago, a 2 terabyte Western Digital solid-state drive could be had for under $150. Today, that same drive goes for $300, and that's an older model. The newer ones are easily well more than that. It's even worse with memory. A year and a half ago, a mid-range 32 gigabyte G.Skill DDR5 memory kit could be had for less than $100. Today, it's well over $400. It's not tariffs that are doing that. It's the sheer demand from AI data centers that are hogging up all our computer chips. And the demand is not expected to settle down at least till 2030. And even if you regularly don't use computers like I do, just wait till you have to purchase your next smartphone. Those have been affected too. Well, here's a bullet of truth that perhaps big tech would rather you not know. Did you know that if you had a powerful enough computer with a proper graphics card, you could run AI models yourself? Large language models, chatbots, and image generators can be run locally within your own home, even offline. It's a far more efficient than what AI data centers do in terms of power usage. And here's another truth. NVIDIA has been behind the whole AI push, and their CEO, Jensen Huang, actually said that the scarcity of hardware is a good thing. Well, of course it's a good thing for him and other tech manufacturers. They're all laughing all the way to the bank while leaving us with less buying power. My question to this board would be, after that has already happened, why reward big tech by giving them further incentive to hog up our consumer technology? After all, whenever you see the words powered by AI, remember they own the tech, not you. Your device is little more than an access terminal into their AI data superstructure. Is that what you want? Not for me. They've already hogged up on all of our technology already. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Next, we got Sarah Novak.
I didn't get to catch you at the beginning, so I want you to pass these out, please, on behalf of Preserve Paulding, LLC. All right. Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Sarah Novak. I'm the founder of Preserve Paulding, LLC. While I stand before you as our sole official member, I represent a rapidly growing community of over 400 Paulding residents who share these exact concerns. We are here to raise serious questions about transparency, long-term planning, environmental protections, and the massive unvetted scale of the proposed industrial data center development. Because my time is strictly limited, I ask that you hold any answers to my comments until after I have finished speaking. I want to address an unanswered email I submitted regarding a data center moratorium. Why was that email ignored? I need a clear explanation on the record as to why this board claims that the county would face litigation if a moratorium were implemented. What specific legal precedent is being relied upon? Along this lawsuit threat, we demand full transparency regarding the role of attorney Brandon Bowen in these data center discussions. How are potential conflicts of interest being identified and managed to protect public trust? I can't take credit for that. Somebody else told me to put that in there. Regarding public comment, if a resident cannot attend in person, is submitting a written comment to the county clerk the correct procedure? What exactly does the county do with those official submissions, and why are residents who utilize this process being told their concerns constitute misinformation? Why must citizens consistently place themselves on the agenda as non-agenda speakers just to raise concerns on something this life-altering? Public participation should not be constrained by defensive hurdles. Today, I am asking that we ban data centers outright in Paulding County. Not just issue a moratorium. This volatile industry is a poor fit for Paulding County. I love this county, by the way. We are in a tech bubble, and we do not know the long-term economic viability of these facilities. What we do see in the news daily is a pattern of communities suffering, citizens losing their homes to eminent domain, families feeling constant low-frequency vibrations in their basement, and blinding light pollution forcing people to blink at their windows just to sleep. Developers will minimize these impacts to your face. They claim a single fixture isn't that bright, but thousands of lights across a massive campus compound into permanent light pollution. These developers rely heavily on diesel-powered backups, purposely hiding this information from the public during initial approvals. They routinely use NDAs to redact utility data, secure their footprint, and to switch plans mid-development. Georgia EPD shows that a single facility nearby can quietly pack over 24 3,000 kilowatt industrial diesel generators. Once those non-disclosure agreements expire and the true scale of the infrastructure is revealed, what enforceable protections will this county actually have left? While these projects are sold as economic benefits, we cannot ignore the immense strain they place on public safety and infrastructure. The 2024 chemical fire at Biolab facility in Conyers proved how quickly an industrial incident compromises regional air quality. It overwhelms emergency services. And nationally, the data center boom is forcing utility companies to scale up generational forecasts astronomically. Right here in Georgia, the Public Service Commission recently had to certify a massive, unprecedented 10,000 megawatts of new energy generation just to keep up, 80% of which is solely to power data centers. The volatility of this industry is so severe that state regulators were forced to freeze base rates and mandate financial backstops just to prevent everyday residents from being forced to subsidize these corporate campuses. If the state is frantically passing emergency guardrails to protect ratepayers, why is the county rushing to invite that exact volatility in our backyard? Once approved, the long-term impacts on our groundwater, soil, utilities are not easily reversible. What enforceable, written protections are being put in place today? Not promises, not binding, but binding requirements, okay? Even a promised closed-loop system is a massive risk. At this scale, a minor leak, just 1%, can quietly dump thousands of gallons of toxic glycol and chemical biocides into our soil daily. Over time, intense heat and chemical friction make pipe degradation an absolute. We just talked about pipes exploding. Why are we doing this? Over time, intense heat, chemical friction makes the degradation. Okay, I just said that. These systems must periodically flush out a highly concentrated chemical sludge known as cooling tower blowdown, and we should invite a scientist to talk about this, because our county lacks the specialized 24/7 oversight needed to monitor these massive internal plumbing networks. A single undetected failure could permanently poison our water table. Right now, we are asked to approve a project where the developers are
Ms.
unknown.
Novak, your time's
I
up.
have like two sentences.
I'm
We
sorry,
don't
your
know
time
if
is
they will
up.
open up.
Thank you, Ms. Novak. Next, we have Stephen Cochran.
All right.
Okay.
I was very disappointed in the last commission meeting. The commission meeting began with a very adversarial tone, with the board president talking down to us like children. I'm 58 years old. I assure you we are certainly smart enough to see that you were trying to deflect from the fact that y'all had announced the overlay, meaning you had certainly spoken with data center companies, but have decided not to provide the taxpayers any information about this. This is certainly for a reason.
Tell it.
Some commissioners could not seem to stay focused on what the citizens were saying, holding their heads down and seeming to not pay attention. We want and expect to be heard. We are the taxpayers of this county who have elected you to do what we wish, not to do what you think is better for us. Let's try a tone that says you care about what the taxpayers want and deserve. I want to ask some questions. I don't expect those to be answered while I'm speaking, but afterwards I'd hope to have answers. How are data centers good for Paulding County? That's just as simple right there. What do they do beneficial for the county? If you're saying that it will make property taxes go down, how is that guaranteed? And are you talking about immediately or in the long term? And is this amount of property tax reduction worth allowing these data centers to do so much damage to our county? When did you start the overlay project and what inspired it? Is the land that is north of North Paulding High School, somewhere around 312 acres, has this land been purchased by a data center? Is that land some form of quid pro quo for future favoritism for the data centers? Are there non-disclosure agreements that have been made with data center companies? If that is the case, how is that good for the citizens of Paulding County? That's only good for the data centers. Why are you doing what's right for them but wrong for us? When was the first time the commission was approached for zoning a data center? You don't need to be focused on what the data center people show you. You need to be focused on what the people near the data centers are going through. Lower home values, endless noise pollution, light pollution, higher water bills, higher power bills, and even being forced to sell their homes or have them taken by eminent domain by the power company so that they can build new power lines to the data centers. We're seeing it in the news articles, local TV news, and social media. It is validated by all of the moratoriums being set up by municipalities, 13 that I know of, that had already let data centers in. Now let's don't get suckered in like them. Did the citizens of Paulding County pay for Richland Creek Reservoir through taxes and our water bills? So we have a lot of money invested in that, which they will be using without spending a dime to build. They will likely be the majority user. Where is the transparency? That's really the key, really, I think. Where's transparency? How much knowledge do you have about data centers? I've learned a lot by extensive reading, and what I'm seeing, they are not benefiting the communities. Did you enter into a joint development authority with other counties or municipalities? I think we need a moratorium on them. And before I go, I want to bring one other thing to your attention. Lying by omission is still lying. James 4:17 in the Bible says, "Therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is a sin." Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. Next is Michelle Wolven.
It's Wolven.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that after the meeting, we're going to have a little group meeting outside at the pavilion, and everybody's welcome to attend. Good morning, Commissioners and fellow Paulding County residents. My name is Michelle Wolven. I've been married for 37 years to my husband, Michael. I'm the proud mother of 9 children and 11 grandchildren. In 1999, our family moved to Senator's Ridge in Paulding County from West Cobb for more room and land. There, our children and their friends happily played year after year, day after day, in the creek and the woods that backed up to our property. This is the same area where a data center is now being built just over the county line in Bartow County. That project was approved in 2023 for just 120 acres with the required DRI, but has since exploded to over 2,000 acres with no additional DRI required. I find this alarming. Recently switched, the developer has acquired more land, and this was to be built on by Century, which is part of Senator's Ridge. This newly acquired land is in Paulding County, right next to the very crowded North Paulding School District, school campus, which houses over 2,000 students and staff. I asked a question which I don't expect an answer to today. Why would Switch pay $32 million for land in Paulding County if they don't already have a spoken agreement with our county to expand into Paulding? That project now sits as close as 100 feet from neighbors who still live in Senator's Ridge and will have to live there probably for the rest of their lives because they won't be able to sell their homes. I digress. In 2014, we moved to Seven Hills because it was safer for my father, who moved in with us, who had advanced Alzheimer's. I was his primary caregiver until he passed away this January. We raised our 9 children here. Seven of our children went through the entire Paulding school system, and our youngest just graduated from the North Paulding High School. For years, I led an abortion watchdog group in Georgia. In 1998, with my efforts, we helped close down the largest abortion facility in the East Coast. It was operating illegally. They were doing abortions up to 9 months. My work contributed also to sending a notorious late-term abortion provider, Tyrone Malloy, to prison for Medicaid fraud in the early 2000s. These experiences have taught me the importance of standing up for the most vulnerable, holding powerful interests accountable, fighting corruption, and ensuring that state laws are upheld. As much as I hold strong to my conservative values, I went to Rutgers University in New Jersey for environmental science, an environmental science degree, and I care immensely about our environment and the creatures that we share our planet with. Sadly, Georgia has some of the weakest environmental protection laws in the country and does not require these billion-dollar corporations to pay for independent environmental impact studies nor health studies on vulnerable populations living just steps from these data farms. Neighbors around the country are reporting having seizures, the inability to sleep, and increased rates of cancer. I think that we can all agree this is alarming. Now, just yesterday, I met a member of our community in Hiram, where I drove to meet a mother and her son who live on part of the 500-acre tract on Bethel Church Road that is being looked into for a possible data center. Their landlord, Sweetwater LLC, notified them recently they have until July 30th to move out because the owner is selling this acreage to a data center for $75 million. The owner is so sure that this deal is going through that he's not charging any of the tenants on the properties any rent. I hope the board can understand how this, along with the recent land acquisition by Switch, creates real mistrust, especially after we've been told that no data centers have even been approved in Paulding County. There are several reasons why data centers should not be considered right now in Paulding County, in addition to some of the reasons you've already heard. We, as a community, it's up. Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michelle. And then we have Catherine Grinner Francis.
Hello, my name is Catherine Griner Francis. My husband and I moved to Paulding County in 2021. Since then, I have seen developments being built at an accelerated rate, and it has raised questions about whether or not our county is well equipped for such drastic increase. Recently, I heard about the Switch data center purchasing over 300 acres. I'm a visual person, so I Googled how much is 305 acres. It's equivalent to 227 football fields, which is next to North Paulding High School and Central Communities. It raised major concerns. Switch in Bartow County, on the Paulding County line, has gone from 126 to 2,000 acres. That's roughly 1,500 football fields. I understand that Switch 2 is in Bartow County, but it will affect Paulding County by proximity. How is a data center allowed to go from 126 to 2,000 acres? It's beyond alarming how quickly these data centers are being built without any regard for the community's feedback, and especially whether or not they're safe for our drinking water, safe for our health, and safe for our ecosystem and planet. Based on the complaints from people who are living next to these data centers, it's destroying their water and destroying their quality of life. My electric bill has already increased with no transparency from Greystone, and to be honest, I can't afford it to go any higher just so that a data center can use it. These data centers consume incredible amounts of water, and we are already at a level 1 drought condition. Instead of investigating and doing due diligence on how these data centers are affecting communities, Georgia instead has given tax break incentives. This is unacceptable and corrupt. I am asking that the elected officials of Paulding County protect their people over profit. I ask that Paulding County stand up and place a ban on data centers to preserve our beautiful land, protect our wildlife, and keep us safe. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. And is Todd Pinnell here? There he is. He was in the back. Todd, you're up.
Good morning, Commissioners. Going last sometimes has its privileges. And so today I say to you all, wow, absolutely wow, the information that you brought here today. I say don't stop. Don't think that you can't make a difference, because you can. People can make a difference. This was not what I had planned to talk about. But the people in our county can make a difference. Y'all are here to represent the people in our county. The way this went about, to do it in a text amendment form, was not open and transparent. That's not the way it goes. Don't say that a little blip it in the Paulding, in the Dallas New Era is the way to do that, because it's not. Rezoning, signs on property, notifying neighbors is the way to do it. Back in 2011, 12, and 13, some things happened in this county. This shouldn't happen, because people did things behind closed doors and they didn't share with the public what was going on. And I said then, in a church, in a family, in a community, in an organization, if anything's good for that family, that church, that organization, it wouldn't cause this. It wouldn't cause this. When my family has struggles, we sit down, we talk about it, we discuss it, and we get through it. Same thing at church, same thing in an organization. This is a family. Our community is a family. That's the way I look at it. I'm Todd Pownell. I live on Coal Lake Road. I don't like the way it's been done. I don't think the process is right. I have a couple questions. Are you working with any developers or any data center owners at this time in Paulding County? And then the other question is, are you working with any power companies to facilitate power getting to a site, what you all would call a future site, for a data center in Paulding County at this time? Now, I don't know if you had it to do over again if you do the same thing the way you did or not. That's a question I'd ask. I don't agree with the text amendment the way it was done. I don't agree with no transparency. The only thing good about a text amendment, it's what I call what somebody told me not too long ago, a living document that can be changed. And I think you need to work on it. The buffers, the undisturbed buffers, where fences go, you need to work on it. But I think you need to absolutely stop looking at data centers in Paulding County, Georgia. Absolutely. Need to stop looking at it. And some of the things that have been said of why we're doing it, I don't think that will happen. I don't think those reasons will happen. So I will close with this. There's a lot of times when things are going on in life, I always pray for the Lord to bring me answers. And today, y'all had a lot of people in this room bringing you their comments, their concerns, answers. There's a lot more out there. You had a lot of them. In other words, it came to you. It came to you. I'm asking y'all, don't stop. If you believe in something, you keep fighting. You don't stop. You don't lay down. You only got 5 minutes to speak today. You got 5 more minutes in 2 weeks. This is the only place that you can come talk to these commissioners all at once. And I'm asking you to continue your fight. I'm asking y'all to deny data centers in Paulding County and allow Paulding County to continue to be a
Mr.
great
Pownell,
place to
your
live,
time's
play, and
up.
work. Thank you so much.
Good job. Thank y'all so much. Any comments or announcements from the board?
I've got one. Just want to remind everybody that we're in the runoff period for the primaries. If you go downstairs, you can vote today. From what I've heard, there are no lines for the runoff. This is the only building for early voting this time. And so just wanted to make that announcement. Thank you.
Any other comments or announcements? Then there won't be an executive session at this time, so I'll need a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Ms. Galloway, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Snyder, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Have a wonderful day.